Well, people have been carving on coins for centuries, changing the designs. And when the American nickel changed to the design with the Indian head and the buffalo, the surface areas were taken up by so much of the design, it was a great canvas for people to carve on. And in the World War I period, there were a lot of people carving the Kaiser on them. And then soon after that, more designs came out. During the Depression, a hobo might take one of the coins and carve a design on it, usually a man wearing a derby and having a beard, and they would exchange it for a meal or a ride on a train or a night somewhere to sleep. And it just continued on from there, and after the Jefferson nickel took over, it somewhat died out. The first thing they learn is how to take the tools and size them to their hands and sharpen them. They learn how to take the graver, cut it to the proper size, mount it in a handle, take it to a stone and put the proper angles on it so it cuts the metal rather than just scratching the metal. And that's the main thing they need to know.
I never was much of an artist, and I was really shocked to learn that I could actually engrave something to make it look halfway decent, like a hobo nickel.
Well, I set up the coins with a pattern drawn on them so they could have something to work with. We could all work on the same thing at the same time to help each other out. And the traditional hobo of a man wearing a derby and a beard. There was a reverse carving with the buffalo turned sideways and turned into a hobo walking with a staff in his hand. And there was also a design of the Liberty Cap cent from 1793, which was a little more complex, but a couple did try it. And a couple of people also tried their own designs, which came out really nice. The first big new surge would have been around 1980 when a man named Del Romines wrote a book on hobo nickels. After that, there were a fair number of people, mostly copying his designs, but some unique designs. But I believe around 1990, Ron Landis, formerly of the Gallery Mint, started making some hobo nickels. And Ron, being a trained engraver, he pretty much raised the bar well beyond where it had ever been. And now they've become small works of art. And it's Ron's responsibility for that. And since then, there are probably a good 150 people making hobo nickels at least, and probably 20 of those making incredibly high quality designs. There was one done as a potty dollar. If you're familiar with that, the people would take the trade dollars from the 19th century, and where Miss Liberty is sitting on a cotton bale, they would change that to a chamber pot. And one man who was he's a professional engraver, he engraved it also with inlays, and radiating out from Liberty were gold bars, making it look like a sunburst. Very, very intricately detailed old-time toilet with the tank mounted at the top. Instead of the olive branch in her hand, he had changed that into a mirror and polished the surface so it actually reflected like a mirror, and even put a small chain onto the tank at the top of the toilet. It was just an amazing piece. That's probably the most interesting modification I've seen to a coin. If people who are interested in hobo nickels, there is a club called the Original Hobo Nickel Society. Their website is hobonickels.org, and they have their major meeting at the Fun Show in Florida in January. And if you go to that show, you'll see anywhere up to 20 hobo nickel carvers working, and there's always an auction for the coins that have been made in the last year or old originals.